The octonauts and the frown fish. Octonauts and the frown fish. It was a quiet and rainy afternoon at the bottom of the ocean when Professor Inkling was dusting his dust jackets. Chin-Up the Regiment was tossing a salad. Quasi Kitten was watering his catnip. Peso Penguin was pinging. Sellington the Otter was honking. Tweak Miney was playing a game. Captain Markle's bear was singing in the rain. Dashy Dog was sounding the octo alert. The crew hurried down to HQ to find Dashy monitoring the octopus screens anxiously. "There's a fish with a very big frown outside," she reported to the others. "He looks so glum that all the creatures around him are starting to get upset too." "I can't find a fish like him on the octonet," Dr. Lincoln said excitedly. "Could he be a new species?" "Octonauts, we should investigate," Professor Inkling declared. Up close, the little fish looked even gloomier. "Why are you so sad?" Dashy asked with concern. But the fish only replied, "Glub, glub." What a dilemma. None of the octonauts spoke frownies. "Perhaps if we understood his language then, we could help him," Dr. Shellington proposed. Shellington and Dashy spent hours in the lab trying to learn frownies, but it proved to be a very difficult language to translate. "I don't think we can work much longer," Dashy said. "I'm starting to feel unhappy myself. Let's think of another way to cheer him up." "Playing music with my friends always brightens my day," Peso shyly suggested. He invited everyone to pick up an instrument. As the crew gathered together to play a happy song, other creatures joined in. There was a clam capella group, a sea orchestra, and a baritone wail. Unfortunately, the frown fish didn't have ears for music and continued to pout. "It's hard to feel sad when you're being glamorous," Quasi announced with a flourish. "Let's have a dressing up party." The little fish tried on many different costumes: cowboy, ghost, princess, magic user, vampire, bumblebee, clown, doctor, rock star, Frankenstein, but none of them could disguise his sadness. Dashy held up her favorite camera and asked, "Why don't we visit the famous snail gardens? We could have a photography field trip." The octonauts took photos of big snails and little snails, striped snails, and polka dot snails. The frown fish, however, couldn't even smile for the picture. "A game of miniature golf always tickles my fancy," revealed Dr. Shellington. The group putted and swung their way through many aquatic obstacles: sand sharks, traps, sea dragons, and electric eel tunnels. The frown fish scored a hole in one on the king crab course, but he didn't look any happier. I like working with my paws. Let's build something, Tweak suggested, surrounded by gadgets and contraptions. The crew constructed a robot tank for the frownfish. Tweak stood back and admired their work. Now our friend can use his new sea legs to visit us inside the octopod. If possible, the frownfish looked even frownier. Chirp chirped eagerly as it led the group into the kitchen. Vegetables love to cook and bake. Maybe the frownfish is hungry? Dr. Lincoln interpreted helpfully. The whole crew set out to make their favorite pastries. They baked barnacle cakes, barnacle muffins, and even a fancy barnacle souffle. The brown fish ate an entire plate of biscuits, but he still looked unsatisfied. There's nothing like pursuing a printed word to simulate the intellect and galvanize the imagination, Professor Inkling exclaimed to a confused crew. To the library, my delightful colleagues. Professor Inkling read from his favorite book of jokes, but the frownfish didn't laugh once. Frownfish must not have funny bones, Inkling decided. The other octonauts weren't too sure. They didn't get the jokes either. I always feel better after I exercise, Captain Barnacle said. The octonauts swooshed down the slide, clambered up the climbing frame, and rode the seesaw. Peso and the frownfish sat on the merry-go-round, while Quasi pushed them faster and faster until, whoop, the frownfish flew right off. The little fish turned, bounced, and rolled over. Everyone rushed over in alarm. They had only been trying to cheer him up, but now he might be hurt. To the octonauts' surprise, the frownfish had a big smile on his face. Of course, Professor Inkling realized. He's not a frownfish, he's an upside-down catfish. There are different types of fish that swim upside down. It's easier for them to spot food. This chap is a fine example of an upside-down catfish. Everyone laughed in relief to discover that their new friend had been smiling the whole day. The catfish made a big and turned himself back upside down. Or was it right side up? The end. And so this book is over.